Welcome back to Walls of Horror, and today, believe it or not, I have another tag video. The king of tags, Mike over at Bibliophile Bookscape, strikes again. He created this tag and he tagged me in it as well. This is the new reader tag. I've got it pulled up here. We'll go through the prompts. It does have an intro I'll read real quick. It says, whether you've been reading for a month or a couple of years, everyone starts somewhere. This tag is about celebrating the beginning of your reading journey and encouraging others who are just getting started. And there are 9 prompts that we're going to go through. Number 1, what made you want to become a reader? And was there a specific book, person, or moment that sparked your interest? I don't, my parents read to me when I was younger, like a little kid. And then kind of a big reading boom that I remember was around 5th grade, and that was the Goosebumps books and the Animorphs books. I loved them, like 5th through, I think I kind of trailed off on into 6th grade. I think I had caught up with what was out, and I was kind of burnt out. So definitely Goosebumps. I read Goosebumps way before Animorphs, and then my beard is messing with, or my mustache was messing with me. I'm sorry. I don't remember who first mentioned Goosebumps to me. This would have been before the TV show. And I don't remember the first book that I read either. I do remember later a friend at school having one of the Animorphs books and him telling me about it, and it seemed real cool. And then later, and I didn't read for a bit outside of school after that until probably the middle of high school. I got big into, around the time the Lord of the Rings came out, I read that. I read Harry Potter was real big. I believe the last book came out my senior year, so I read those books and saw the movies. Also discovered Stephen King and Louis L'Amour in high school, so somewhere in there. But as far as like a specific moment, I don't know. I don't know. What was the first book that made you think I love reading? It was definitely one of those early Goosebumps books, but I can't remember which one. So we'll go a little bit later, because like I said, 5th or 6th grade I read a lot of Goosebumps and Animorphs, and then aside from what I had to do for school, I didn't read much until mid-high school. I mostly played video games. But I do remember reading Desperation by Stephen King when I was in high school. And it has a real crazy start with like the spirit has possessed this cop. But then later it like transforms into like a mountain lion or a cougar, jaguar, or something like that. I don't remember exactly which. And I remember it stalking these people in like an abandoned movie theater, I think. I just remember thinking how crazy it was and how cool, like that, all the different things happening, that it was all one story. So I definitely remember that one. What's one reading habit you're still trying to develop? Reading consistently, annotating, visiting libraries. It's been years since I've been in a library. I'm terrible with libraries. I always end up with like really big library fees, and then I don't go back for 5 years, so I don't have to pay it. Or, not so it drops off. I just never go back until to avoid paying it, and then eventually I'll go back and pay it, and then get something else and forget to take it back, and then the cycle starts back over. Reading consistently, I've been probably for the last few years, well over 50% of my reading has been rereading short stories. So I'm definitely working on getting back into the groove of reading like new novels, or not necessarily new to me at least. rather than, just stopping by and grabbing H.P. Lovecraft or, Hemingway or Flannery O'Connor and just reading a short story before bed that I've read probably 20 times. So that's definitely a big one right now. Which genre surprised you the most? A genre you never expected to enjoy? I don't know. I mostly I read the genres that I like. I don't read a lot of modern romance. I don't mind when there is romance in another book. If you had asked me, I don't know, when I was 18, if I thought that I would ever like Charles Dickens or Dostoevsky or, a lot of the, like, hard classics or stuff that you're being assigned in school, I would have said no way, but I like all that stuff. So, number 5, what's one book that intimidated you before you started reading? Probably Moby Dick. This would have been like 15 years ago. Just because I had heard so much, and especially about the opening section, The Sound and the Fury, the first time I read it was about 10 years ago. But I was real nervous about it. Or not, yeah, I wasn't nervous. Like, I don't know. So, I mean, I don't know if intimidated is right. Like, if I'm reading a book and I'm not enjoying it, I just close it and I set it down, and it can't get up and come get me. But yeah, Moby Dick seemed like it was going to be a tough one, and it was. And The Sound and the Fury seemed like it would be real tough. And, I mean, it was kind of an adjustment period, but I really enjoyed The Sound and the Fury. Okay, the second half of that, what's one book that intimidated you before you started reading, and do you still want to read it someday? I'm not really... let me think. I don't have a book that I'm putting off because I think it would be difficult. I have a TBR list that's taller than I am, but it's just stuff I haven't gotten to yet. How has reading changed your life so far? Big or small changes all count. Reading has we're talking about like life. Obviously I'm an author. I would love to do that full time. So that's, what I try to do is to create something that other people will read. So it's obviously a big model for that. It has opened my mind toward that you could do that and get paid for it, supposedly. And also, there's one, I don't know, especially if we're readers, we're all enjoy reading. This might sound bad, but like you look up the statistics on like yearly earnings and the difference between people who read consistently and can read at a high level, their earnings versus people who can't. It's a huge difference. So, I mean, that's, if anything, even if, even if you didn't enjoy reading, having the ability to read, to be able to read and comprehend a contract or an exam or a report is very, very important. What's reading myth? My goodness. It might be nice if I could read on my reading channel. How about that? What is one reading myth you've discovered isn't true? For example, you have to finish every book, and readers only enjoy classics. I definitely like you have to finish every book. And I did. I did in my early 20s. If I started a book, I would finish it even if I hated it. So yeah, now if I'm not enjoying a book, I don't finish it. Like I said, there's nothing, no teacher is going to come smack me with a ruler or anything like that. I can do what I want. So yeah, definitely, I'm pro DNF if you don't enjoy it. I think, so jokes aside, like if you don't like haunted houses, right? maybe read the back of a book before you buy it, or before you leave a 1-star review and see, oh, it's about a haunted house, I'm probably not going to like it. But if you do like haunted houses and you do like an author and you pick up this author's haunted house book, trust the author. You've bought the ticket, take the ride, at least ride it for a couple stops, and then you can get off the bus, right? So, give them time to get going, give them time to win you over. But, even if you're like, if you've hit halfway and you're not enjoying it, at least, even before then, I would say. So if you could ask experienced readers one question, what would it be? I don't know. I consider myself an experienced reader. I'm like in decrepit middle age, and I've been reading, 20, 30 years. I know there are plenty of people that have been reading for 80. I don't know. Hey, I don't know. I don't think. Yeah, I'm gonna fail this one. I don't know. So number 9, what's one reading goal you hope to accomplish in the next year? It doesn't have to be a number of books. It could be trying a new genre, rereading a favorite, or building a small library. There are a number of books that I want to add to my little library at home. Definitely finish the Book of the New Sun series. That's one. And from booktube, I have a huge TBR pile, including a lot of books written by other booktubers. So I want to get through their books. I want to, review them and talk about them. But reading for me is fun. So I don't actually make that many goals for reading. I have a lot of writing goals, but I don't have that many reading goals. I keep kicking my darn tripod. Alright, so that is number 9. That's the end of the tag. Number 10, it says tag others. Mike is pretty much taking care of that for all of us. I believe he tagged literally everyone on YouTube. So I'm not going to tag anyone, but if you're watching this and somehow you have not been tagged, or you have been tagged and you have not made your video yet, you're tagged now for sure. You need to go make the video. This is a fun tag. I will put the prompt down in the description. I'll put all the prompts down there so you can go through it. And Mike, thanks for the tag. Thanks for tagging me. If you're still watching, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And that wraps up the new reader tag by Mike at Bibliophile Bookscapes. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.